Hello and welcome to session 40 of DirectX 2 4th semester BCom of Mangalore University. In this particular session, we are going to solve a comprehensive problem on capital gain. Let's look at this particular problem. Mohit sold the following properties. Compute taxable capital gain. So first property given is gold ornaments costing rupees 75,000 in January 2015 was sold for rupees 6,90,000 in December 2019. So purchased in January 15, that is 15-16, sold in the year 1920. So definitely the period of holding is more than 3 months. So we take the index cost of acquisition. It's a long-term capital asset. Then we given with residential house at Mangalore sold on 30th of November 2019 for rupees 23 lakh. It was inherited by him in 1996 and its fair market value as on 1st of April 2001 was rupees 1,60,000. His father had acquired it for rupees 1 lakh in 1991. So this property is acquired prior to 1st April 2001 and also he had inherited from his father in 1996. So very important point. The cost of acquisition to him will be the actual cost that is incurred or paid by his father. So it is 1 lakh. But now on 1st of April 2001, the fair market value of that property is 1,60,000. So Mr. Mohit has an option to choose either the cost of acquisition or fair market value of the property, whichever is beneficial to him. So definitely 1,60,000 FMV is beneficial. He purchased another house in 2019 for rupees 3,60,000 and invested in specified bonds. So, house is transferred, a new house is purchased. So, he can claim exemption under section 54. And also it's given that he is invested in specified bonds. We assume that he has invested within 6 months from the transfer of this particular property. So, he can claim exemption under section 54 EC as well. Then household furniture costing 1,80,000 in 2018 was sold for rupees 2,25,000 in July 2019. Very important word in this statement is household furniture. Household furniture is not a capital asset. So it will not be considered. But if the same furniture would have been a business asset, then would have taken because it would have become a depreciable asset. Then we have self-cultivated agriculture land in Mysore sold for 28,25,000 costing rupees 85,000 in December 2011. So sale value is 28,25,000 purchased in December 2011 for 85,000. So the property is a long-term capital asset more than 36 months. Then he has purchased an agricultural land for rupees 1,20,000 in July 2019. So agricultural land sold, agricultural land purchased. He can claim exemption under section 54B. Then Maruti van used for business is given. So Maruti van car becomes a depreciable asset. That's machinery. Sold on 1st of December 2019 for rupees 1,10,000. It was purchased in January 2018 for rupees 1,40,000. But its written down value as on 1st of April 19 was rupees 1 lakh. So since it is a depreciable asset from the sale consideration, we simply deduct the written down value of the asset. Then we have a very important question on shares. Shares acquired in January 2018 for rupees 4,30,000. Fair market value is given as on 31st of January 2018. That is for rupees, fair market value is 5 lakh. It is sold in March 2020 for rupees 6,20,000. Securities transaction tax paid is 7,80,000. Then we are given with CII of 1,2 which is 100, 2011-12 is 184, 2015-16 is 254, 2017-18 is 272 and 19-20 is 289. So we are given with gold ornaments, residential house, then household furniture, self-cultivated agricultural land, then Maruti van, that is machinery, and shares. So we are given with 6 assets. So as usual we will take 4 amount columns for our calculation and we will record that whether it's a long term or a short term capital asset. So I record over here computation of taxable capital gain for the previous year 1920. Taxable capital gain for the previous year 1920. So I'll prepare 4 amount columns. The last 2 columns would be for long term and short term capital gain totaling. Question asked is compute taxable capital gain. So if you want, you can add up these numbers at the end and arrive at one number. So the first 2, that is the first and the second column, we'll use that for our calculation. So I record here the last 3rd and the 4th column. I record long term capital gain and short term capital gain. Yes, so we shall record the first asset. The first asset given is gold ornament. So I record gold ornament. Gold ornaments is given. So I record sale consideration. Sale consideration. Let's read through the column. Gold ornaments costing rupees 75,000 in January 2015 sold for 6,90,000. So I record the amount in the second amount column, 6,90,000. It was costing 75,000 in January 2015. So definitely more than 36 months. So it becomes a long-term capital asset. So we deduct index cost of acquisition. So cost of acquisition into CII of 1920, that is our current previous year, divided by CII of the year of purchase. Gold was purchased in January 15. So that is 2014-15. 2014-15. The cost is 75,000 into 289 divided by CII of 14-15 is given in the problem. CII of 15-16, I beg your pardon, is 254. Let's make this as 15-16. 254. So 75,000 into 289 divided by 254 will give you 85,335. 85,335. So 6,90,000 minus 85,335. It's a long-term capital asset. So I get a value of 6,04,665. So 6,04,000, 85 is 89, 600, 300, 900 and 90,000. So 6,04,665. So gold ornament is a long-term capital asset. Next we move on to residential house. A residential house. So as usual we take sale consideration for residential house. Let's read. Residential house at Mangalore sold on 30th of November 19 for rupees 23 lakh. So I record 23 lakh in the second amount column. 23 lakh. It was inherited by him in 1996 and its fair market value on 1st of April 2001 was rupees 1,60,000. So FMV on 1/4/2001 is 1,60,000. His father had acquired it for rupees 1 lakh in 1991. So father had acquired the property prior to 1st April 2001. So we give an option over here. This is a long-term capital asset. So we take index cost of acquisition. And here I can record either the cost of acquisition or FMV as on 1st April 2001. Whichever is beneficial. Into CII of 1920, that is year of transfer, divided by CII of 2001-2. 2001-2. Now, He inherited the property in 1996. That is from his father. The father had acquired it in 1991. All these years are before 1st April 2001. So, what was the cost of acquisition to his father will be the cost of acquisition to Mr. Mohit. So, either we take 1 lakh, which is the cost of acquisition, or we take 1,60,000. So, here fair market value is higher. So, we take 1,60,000 into 289 divided by 100. So, you get 1,600 into 289. So, 1,600 289 would be 4,62,400. Would be 4,62,400. 4,62,400 would be the value. So I deduct and write it in the inner column itself. So 18,37,600. So 1822 23. So 23. So 18,37,600 is long-term capital asset. Now what is given? He purchased another house in 2019 for rupees 3,60,000. From the long-term capital asset, he is transferring a residential house and he is purchasing. So from this number, we have less exemption under section 54. Exemption under section 54. And that is cost of the new house. Cost of the new house. And cost of the new house is given. Cost of the new house is 3,60,000. So I record 3,60,000 in the first amount column. Apart from that, he has also invested in specified bonds. Say bonds issued by NABARD, bonds issued by REC, bonds issued by NHAI, Railway Corporation Limited. So specified bonds, and we assume that he is investing it within 6 months. That is from the transfer of this residential house. So exemption under section 54 EC. Maximum exemption that he can get is 50 lakh. But investment in specified bonds. He has invested in specified bonds worth rupees 80,000. Worth rupees 80,000. So 80,000 worth investment is done. So 3,60,000 plus 80, that would be 4,40,000. Total exemption, that is exemption under 54, cost of new house is 3,60,000. Investment in specified bonds exempt under section 54 EC is 80. So total is 4,40,000. So 18 minus 4 is 14. 14. So it would be 13 lakh 2,600. So that would be 97,400. So 13, 17, 90, 18 lakh 30, 18 lakh 37, 600. Yeah, that will be 600. 7, 13 minus 4 is 9, 17 minus 4 is 13. So 13 lakh 97,600. So 13, 17, 90, 18, 30, 18, 37, 600. Yes. So 13 lakh 97,600 will be long-term capital gain as far as transfer of residential house is concerned. The next item given is self-cultivated agriculture land. So we can record self-cultivated agriculture land. I will record it here. I will continue with that. Say 4 amount columns we can have. This will be short-term capital gain column, long-term capital gain column. Then we will have 2 amount columns for our calculation as usual. So I will record over here long-term capital gain, short-term capital gain. So let's continue with the third asset. It is agriculture land. So I record over here agricultural land. So I record over here sale consideration. Sale consideration of agriculture land is given 28,25,000. So 28,25,000 is the value, less Now this is purchased in December 2011, so 11-12. So this is index cost of acquisition. So I record, it's a long-term capital asset, index cost of acquisition. So I record cost of acquisition into CII of 1920, that is current previous year, divided by CII of the year of acquisition, which is 11-12, 2011-12. So cost of acquisition of that agriculture land is 85,000 into 289 divided by CII of 11-12 is given, it is 184. So 85,000 into 289 divided by 184 would work out to 1,33,505. 1,33,505. So that would be the number. So I can deduct. Now also he purchased agricultural land for rupees 1,20,000 in July 2019. So we'll have to record this in the year amount column itself. It would be 26 lakh. So 10 minus 5 is 5, 9, then again it would be 9. Nine minus 5 would be 4. 4 minus 3, 1. 12 minus 3 would be 9. 7 minus 1 would be 6 and 2. So 26, 27. 27 lakh 90. 28 lakh 20. 24. 25. Yes. So 26 lakh 91,495 will be long-term capital gain. But since he is purchasing an agricultural land, he can claim exemption under section 54B. Exemption under section 54B. And that will be the cost of the new agricultural land. Cost of new agriculture land. Cost of new agriculture land given is 1,20,000. 1,20,000. So 26,91,495 minus 1,20,000 would give me a long-term capital gain of 25,71,495. So 25, 26, 70, 80, 90. 1,495. So this is about agriculture land. Next we move to the fourth asset. We have Maruti van. Yes, Maruti van. I can call that as machinery. Machinery, in bracket I record Maruti van. Because all car, motor car, everything comes under the category of machinery, depreciable at 15% rate. Used for business is given. So it's a depreciable asset. Sold on 1st of December 2019. So sale consideration. Sold on 1st of December 2019 for rupees 1,10,000. So I record 1,10,000 in the second amount column. Then I record less what is given. It was purchased in 18 for 1,40,000. So that's irrelevant. Written down value on 1st of April 19. WDV as on 1st of April 19. WDV as on 1st of April 19 given is 1 lakh rupees. And since it's a depreciable asset, so 1,10,000 minus 1 lakh, the gain or loss will always be short term. So depreciable asset, the gain is always short term and loss will also be short term capital loss. So here it's a gain of around 10,000 rupees. So we deduct the written down value. And then we have the fifth asset, and that is shares. Shares. Shares are acquired in January 2018 for rupees 4,30,000. Fair market value as on 31st of January 18 was rupees 5 lakh. Sold in March 20 for rupees 6,20,000. Security transaction tax paid is 7,80,000. So first what I will record is sale consideration. Sale consideration. So sale consideration sold in March 2020 for 6,20,000. So I record 6,20,000 in the second amount column. Next I record less. Now what is the rule as far as shares are concerned? Now given shares are acquired in January 2018, that means the shares were purchased before 31st of January 18. So cost of acquisition shall be, so I record over here index cost of acquisition or cost of acquisition. Cost of acquisition would be the actual cost. So I record actual cost. Actual cost is 4,30,000. So I record 4,30,000 in the first amount column, or I record or we have internal comparison now. Lower of fair market value, that is as on 31st January 18. Fair market value as on 31st January 18. Fair market value as on 31st January 18 is 5 lakh rupees. Or the internal comparison, that will be sale proceeds. Sale proceeds is 6,20,000. Now among these two, whichever is lower. So among these two, the lower amount is 5 lakh rupees. It will be 5 lakh rupees. And when you are comparing these two, whichever is higher. So I'll just record the statement. Whichever is higher. So among the two, which is higher? 5 lakh is higher. So I deduct 5 lakh rupees from 6,20,000. And remember, it's more than 12 months. So it will be 1,20,000 without indexation. So we haven't done the indexation over here. So the rule is very clear. The tax rate is beyond 1 lakh, 10%. So up to 1 lakh is exempt when you go to calculation of taxation. Since indexation is not done, so you get 6,20,000 minus 5 lakh, that would give me 1,20,000. So 1,20,000 is long-term capital gain. So since shares are purchased before 31st March 18, these shares are acquired in January 2018. So cost of acquisition will be the actual cost, which is 4,30,000 paid, or the grandfathering effect, we say, grandfathered value, the value of that shares on 31st of January 18, which is 5 lakh rupees, or the sale consideration. Among these two number, whichever is lower. So 5 lakh is lower, that is compared with actual cost. Among these two, whichever is higher, that will be deducted from the sale consideration. And since it is acquired and retained for more than 12 months, it's a long-term capital asset. So I record that 6,20,000 minus 5 lakh in the long-term capital gain column. But no indexation, because the tax rate would be 10% beyond 1 lakh rupees. So that's all we have as far as assets are concerned. Now we can just total the columns. So short-term capital gain value is 10 lakh rupees. And long-term capital gain, 5 plus 5 is 10. So 1, 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 6 is 16. So 6, 1, 5, 11, 11, 6, 17. So you get 17, 1, 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 7 is 13. So 3, 1. That would be 8, 9, 10. 10 plus 9 is 19. So 1, 6, 7. 7, 6, 13. 13, 3, 16. 6, 1. So it would be 3 and 4. 46,93,760. So if you want, we can just add those numbers, and this will be therefore taxable capital gain. This would be taxable long-term capital gain, and this would be taxable short-term capital gain. So just we'll total it once again. 6,04,665. We get 13,97,600. Then we have 25,71,495, and we have 1,20,000. So 5 plus 5 is 10, 1 is 16, 1, 12, 13, 4, 17, 1, 5, 7, 12, 13, 3, 1, 9, 10, 17, 18, 19, 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 1, 46, 93, 760. So we get 46, 93, 760 is taxable long-term capital gain, and 10,000 becomes taxable short-term capital gain. So let's understand this particular problem. Now we are given with 5 assets in this problem. First is gold ornaments, and gold is held for more than 36 months, so it's a long-term capital asset. So we index, we get 6,04,665. Then residential house is given. It's a long-term capital asset. It was acquired prior to 1st April 2001. So we take fair market value is higher, 1,60,000 in comparison to the actual cost, which is 1 lakh. So into 289 by 100. So you get indexed cost of acquisition is 4,60,400. So this is long-term capital gain. Now a new house is purchased for rupees 3,60,000. Also, there is investment in specified bonds. Now this investment in specified bonds can be deducted from any long-term capital asset. Either you can deduct it from here, you can deduct it from long-term capital gain of agricultural land also. So investment in specified bonds 80. So total deduction is 4,40,000. So 18,37,600 minus 4,40,000 is 13,97,600. Then we have agricultural land. Agricultural land sale consideration is 28,25,000. Index cost of acquisition is given. This was acquired in 11/12. So 184 is the CII, cost inflation index. 85,289 by 184 will give 1,33,505. So you get long-term capital gain of 26,91,495. Then a new agricultural land is purchased, which can be claimed exemption under section 54B, which is 1,20,000. So taxable long-term capital gain from agricultural land is 25,71,495. Then Maruti van is given, which is considered as a block of machinery. Sale consideration is 1,10,000, and it's given that it is used for business. So it's a short-term capital asset. We take return on value at the beginning of the year, which is 1 lakh. So taxable short-term capital gain is 10,000 rupees. Then we are given with share. The sale consideration is 6,20,000. Less cost of acquisition. We are not indexing, though it's a long-term capital asset. Actual cost. The cost of acquisition will be actual cost, which is 4,30,000, or lower of fair market value or sale proceeds. Fair market value is 5 lakh. Sale proceeds is 6,20,000. So among the two, whichever is lower. So 5 lakh is lower. So actual cost and the lower of these two numbers put together here, whichever is higher. So 5 lakh is higher. So from 6,20,000, 5 lakh becomes the cost of acquisition. We deduct 5 lakh. So you get 1,20,000. Remember, indexation, without indexation, the capital gain on tax is, on shares is 10% beyond rupees 1 lakh. So it is 1,20,000, and taxable capital gain, when you add up these numbers in this column, you get 46,93,760, and taxable short-term capital gain is 10,000 rupees. I hope this problem on long-term and short-term capital gain is clear. Thank you.